All right, let's get to the receivers. Let's get to the wide receivers because this is probably the biggest matchup of this week for us that we have here for these. We have Mr. George Pickens, who just had a career game against the Green Bay Packers, and Nico Collins, who's going up against a very soft Baltimore Ravens defense. So, Mr. I'm ahead in the standings and I get everything right. Who are you going with?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously we're dealing with George Pickens without CD Lamb, who is the clear cut wide receiver one. Actually, he kind of just played a soft Green Bay Packers defense because that defense kind of got torched by the Dallas Cowboys. And now he's got the Jets, who made Tua look very, very good last week on Monday Night Football. Nico Collins obviously has that Baltimore Ravens defense, who has allowed 35 points in 3 of their 4 games that they have played this year. That is already tied for a franchise record, and we are only starting week 5. Not looking good. Plus, they don't have Lamar Jackson. This is going most likely won't have Lamar Jackson, I should say, and they have a ton of injuries dealing with their side of the ball. The Texans also just had a great week against the Titans. Nico Collins, 12 points, kind of looked like a shell of himself. 6 targets, 4 receptions, 79 yards. After coming off of a pretty big Jacksonville week, I think I'm leaning towards George Pickens just because he's been doing it since week 2, even with CD, and now without CD. He's got the Jets, and that should be good. Sauce Gardner looks like he's a hot sauce packet. Like he doesn't look that great right now. I'm sorry, ketchup packet. Hot sauce packets are way better than ketchup packets. Well, actually, what's the worst sauce packet?
Oh,
Is
I
it
can tell
ketchup?
you.
What is it?
No,
Tartar
the
sauce?
worst sauce packet ever in the history of the world is Chick-fil-A sauce.
All right. Well, so a lot of people will say Chick-fil-A sauce is really good, though. I don't
I
know. I
know.
don't
That's
eat
why I'm
Chick-fil-A,
that's why
so.
I'm me. That's who I am, Justin.
He
I
is a
pick the
mustard
most popular.
packet. He's a
Oh,
mustard packet.
oh, now that's too far, buddy. Mustard's the best condiment on the face of this planet. I
Oh,
use mustard on
gross.
literally everything.
Um,
French fries, tater
he
tots.
he is Sauce Gardner looks like the worst sauce packet out there right now. So I'm gonna go George Pickens here against the New York Jets defense.
That's fair because Nico Collins has been, how do I say this? He's been bad this year. Not Jamar Chase bad, but he's been bad. His yards or his points per game went from 17.6 last season to down to 13.5. It's a big decrease in your fantasy points per game, especially where you drafted him. He's going against the Baltimore Ravens, who do allow the 5th most fantasy points to the wide receivers. They give up 32.2 points per game. So there's a thing there, but is that more of a Josh Allen needed to catch up? Everyone they play the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes has scored 4 touchdowns. They went against the 2 top elite quarterbacks in the league so far in only 4 games. So that being said, like that does skew into their numbers. I'm scared of Stroud. I'm scared of his releasing the ball and getting Nico down the field. It seems like Stroud doesn't have time to do that. That's why Nico Collins' numbers are so down. I drafted Nico and not Scott, yeah, Scott Fishbowl actually. I also have Puka, so doing pretty well. But I will say that Nico Collins has dragged my team down because of his underperforming. You drafted him so high. Whereas George Pickens, people were taking a stab at him in the later rounds. Not super late, but later-ish. But he's giving you top 2, top 3 production. The Jets give up middle of the road to the fantasy receivers, literally 16th. They're literally in the middle. But we saw Tyreek do things against him, but Tyreek and Pickens aren't the same people. They're just simply not the same player. George Pickens can run a decent route tree, but he's more of a burner. And let's be honest, Dak is unstoppable. I said this on Cold Brews and Hot Takes Monday morning. We give too much credit to defenses. Oh, he's playing Lattimore. Oh, he's playing against Sertan. Oh, he's playing against insert defensive player. But these offensive players get paid just as much as them, and they perform just as well as they do. It's not always, oh, but he's a defender, so we must respect. No, the NFL's done everything to counter the defense to make sure scoring is up. So I love Dak. I love this offense. I love George Pickens this year. Unfortunately, I didn't draft him anywhere because I was a CD guy, obviously. Right now, Pickens is the wide receiver 6. He's averaging 18.8 points per game, which is, again, phenomenal, way above Nico Collins. And it's not just because of that blow up game against Green Bay. Remember, he scored over 17 points in back-to-back weeks, in weeks 2 and 3. From weeks 2 to 4, George Pickens is top 10 in targets, 29th, tied with Garrett Wilson. He's being treated, as CeeDee Lamb is gone, he's being treated as the number 1 alpha. There's no, well, we got to spread the ball around to him or him or him. No, he and Ferguson have been treated as the alpha 1 and alpha 2 when CD's gone. There is no secondary. Yes, you get the Turpins. Yes, you get the Javonte Williams runs, but Pickens is actually being used as an alpha there. So that's why I'm going George Pickens against the Jets. Not because of the matchup per se, just because of how they're using Pickens while CD is out. So George Pickens, to me, instant start no matter what you have.
We agreed.
We have to.
Starting off, I mean, it was easy, but like I don't think a lot of people think it were like if I was looking at this matchup week 1, I'd be like, Nico, like what are we talking about? It's Nico Collins. Like George Pickens, he's okay, but like CD's there, like it's Nico. But yeah, I mean, this is I preach this every week. You might start 0-4, you might start 1-3, but it's how you adjust, it's how players injuries come about. Who you might have thought is a deep bench guy is now a starting wide receiver for your league. So it's adjustments are made. Week 5 happens, and here we are, George Pickens over Nico Collins.
And that could change. You know, I think the fantasy footballer said it best, like stay water, stay fluid. Things change. You know, you get called out because during the draft, I say, you drafted Judkins there. He's not even signed. And then 2 weeks later, I'm trading for Judkins in the same league where I told the manager, why are you drafting Judkins? You know, like things happen. You have to stay on top of that. If you stand on this soapbox in fantasy or in life, actually, if you stay on your soapbox forever and you never change, you never adapt, you never evolve, you never get better, you're just staying stagnant forever. And if you just have that mindset of like, oh, these are my guys, I'm going to start them week in and week out no matter what, your fantasy teams will never get better. Go look at your standings and look at the roster moves and how many moves the top managers make compared to the bottom managers. Bottom managers, I guarantee you, don't make enough moves, don't make trade offers, don't check the waiver wire. They just sit there stagnant. Whereas the top guys, the top people, top managers on your league are the ones making the moves. So, and changing lineups and benching players that you think should be started.